Hello, welcome back to Matt Tech. It's been a while since I posted a video, so I thought better get one out quick, eh? So, my recent news is I've been asked to do some arts and crafts, and I've been getting on with that, keeping me busy. So I thought I'd show you a couple of things what I've done recently, and these are copper dolphin. The background is steel with some welds in it, and it's difficult to see in the camera light here. And another sample. We have a fish. There we go. Now I've done a few other things as well. But today I thought I'm going to do a necklace, and it's going to be based on copper butterfly and then some smaller ones on the side, and then obviously a chain. So for today I would actually show you how I make these small butterflies. I'll pop a picture up somewhere where you can see it a bit better because it's a bit blurry. And I just go through the process of how I make them. So most of the tools I've got are, off the shelf, easy things to get. So there's nothing special on this. One of the things you definitely will need is a jeweler's saw. And I got this one from Amazon. They're low cost, and it came with an absolute ton of blades. Unfortunately, none of them were actually labelled of how many teeth they are, and there's all sorts in the box. So I've just been experimenting with them, and I don't think it was more than 10-12 quid with the blades. It wasn't expensive. And the other thing also you're going to need is some copper sheeting, and some quite big sheets, which I'll just keep around. And the other thing you'll need is a peg to actually cut on. Now I obviously don't actually have an official one, so I've got some old pallet wood. I screwed it up and just made something I can clamp in the vise, and just put a little V chop in it, and that's all I really use. I would say this could do with being like a sanded surface, because theoretically when you're sawing, this should be vertical, and then you turn your work and keep this going in the same direction. But I find the copper tends to stick on the wood, and I end up having to turn the saw a little bit or stop and then move things around a little bit. So that's the initial thing. You'll need to cut the basic shape out, because it's going to be a folded piece of metal. You're going to need a blowtorch, otherwise it's going to split. Tried it loads of times. The only way you can fold it, unfold it, is to heat it up, get it really, really hot, and then it'll sort of make the metal a lot softer. So you need something, again, nothing special, but a blowtorch of some sort. I like this one because it's got a little auto start, because I tend to find I'm on and off heating it and then hitting it a bit, and as you bang the metal into shape, it'll go hard and more difficult to bend, so you have to reheat it and follow the process on like that. Okay, so the other thing you're definitely going to need is a Sharpie of some sort, so something you can draw your picture on the metal just to cut round. So Sharpie, pretty much essential, only a quid or two. And if you've done something a few times, you really like the sort of look of it, you can obviously make a stencil out. Now I've done that using my 3D printer, and I've got some little templates of various things that I make regularly, and it just saves me sort of trying to redraw it out all the time. So there's an example, just a stencil made up on the 3D print of a dolphin. It started out as a hand print, and then eventually I thought, okay, better make one a bit more permanent. It's literally just something to draw around. That's my stingray, and starfish, and I've got some other ones there of different sizes as well. So smaller dolphin, here's a half a butterfly, because you actually need half a butterfly. I've done these in different shapes depending on what I'm going to use, different sizes depending on what they're going to be used for. And there's the fish that I showed you earlier. So yeah, you can choose to make stencils, that's up to you. My original ones were just bits of cardboard cut out, but when I decided I really liked the look of it, I stuck it into Fusion, drew around the stencil I'd already made, and then converted it into a 3D print, but that's just something a bit more longevity, and I can use it over and over again easily. Okay, so the other thing you may need is, when you're using your blowtorch, something to use it on. So I'm using a sheet of steel and just putting it on the vise, and that stops the heat getting down and burning the paint off the vise. So just a piece of sheet of steel. This is the same stuff I use on the pictured artworks in the background. Okay, so that's my homemade peg put in the vise. I off-center it like that, just so the saw's not hitting the vise handle, otherwise it just gets in the way and drives me nuts. Okay, so the next thing you're going to need to do is just size up a piece of metal. So I say I've got my template. You might just draw yours out straight. It obviously needs to be twice the size of this, so basically that looks good to me. And just allow a bit of extra, because when you fold it you may not be that accurate. And so we're looking at sort of along there like that. And then I use 10 snips. You could saw it with a jeweler's saw if you want to, but this is quick and easy, and again they're not too expensive, not essential, but it does make cutting the copper quick and easy. And quite literally just snip it in half. Right, rid of them. Okay, don't need the spare bit of metal. Okay, so the first thing I need to do is I need to fold this into two. So take this away. This is where the voice may come in handy for little people, but there we go. So I want to make sure I've got a decent sort of nice tight thing. For those, it's 0.5 thick, this metal, so half a mil thick. So now it's fold it in half, you've got a mil's worth to cut through. The copper I've got has got this plastic sheeting on it, which can be quite handy for drawing your marks and all on. So there we go, we've very simply cut it in, fold it in half. Put that back on there. Just have it, saves me bending over if I put it up here like that. Put that on there. Side I've not damaged too much. I've got to say my Sharpie is a bit dead, and I could have really done with a new one, but I haven't got a new one, so this may not turn out brilliant. So obviously you need to make sure you know the folded side from the open side. Put that on there. People watching under pressure. Right. When I originally printed these templates, they were quite thick. I thought they were more durable, but actually after I've done it for a while I realised they're too thick to get the pen down in the small gaps. So if you do decide to 3D print your own, don't make them too thick, because you'll find a bit of cardboard a lot easier. There we go. So say my pen's a bit warm, it's not definitely working. Alright, let's see, we have a butterfly marked out. So, jeweler's saw, and This is probably going to be a bit boring to watch, but I shall do it and probably speed it up after. Almost forgot. Can't use a saw like that. Put it over to there. Right. Again, here we go. Right, there we go. We have a copper butterfly. So, because I intend to make this a necklace, I'm going to need a hole through each wing. So the best time to do that hole is now, actually, before we actually start unfolding it. Otherwise you'll have to do 2 holes and get them in the right place. So I'm going to stick the holes in now. Okay, so one of the things you're going to need obviously for this is a drill. You could do it by a little hand drill if you wanted, but I wouldn't bother. Just get an electric drill, preferably a small one which you can handle quite well. If you get a big sort of, you know, bit heavy drill, you might find it a bit difficult to actually drill it. And I forgot to do it on camera, but I did put a little dot punch on the wing and just to help guide the drill, otherwise it's all over the place. And the drill bit I've got is just a 1mm. So just pop that on there. And that's that bit done. So that's all I need to drill for a minute. Now that's only a 1mm hole. I am almost definitely going to need to make that a bigger hole later. So there's going to be like a little loop to go in there. And at this point I'm now going to have to heat this up, because if I try to open this, it's likely to split later. So I'm going to take this off, and the next thing is to cook it. Need that. And I don't want to cook it on the wood. I've tried that before and burnt it, so do that. More stability. So one thing you definitely don't want to do is touch that now, because it's going to hurt. So you could pop it in some water to speed the process up, but I'm just going to wait, because I've got no water in it other than my drink, which I intend to drink. So I'll just cut it off for a second. Okay, so it's been a few minutes. It's warm but not cooking, and we now have a very sort of slightly blackened piece of copper. Fortunately still in a butterfly shape, so won't be needing this for a while, so we'll get rid of that. And generally, to start this off, if you've got sharp fingernails, you might well be able to get them in there. Sometimes I get a Stanley knife just to open it up slightly, and I just like to get it started. So obviously, just to keep things even as I can, what I usually do is just find a screwdriver, put it in the vise and knock it over. So I think we're going to do that next. You might need a little tappy hammer if you choose to do it. And there you go. So that's the start. Here we go, we've got the start of our butterfly. So initially what I do is try and get the shape rounded over this way. Sorry, it's a bit backwards trying to do it in the camera like this. And then eventually we do the curve that way. So we'll start with this one anyway. So you can get some nice tools to do this properly. I don't have them, so I'm going to use another hammer. It's just an engineer's hammer with a rounded bit at the end. And it's just a case of forming the bend. Then you're starting to get the shape you want, and you're just going to work at it for a while. You'll have to keep checking this over and over, and reshaping it, and you may even have to reheat it to sort of make it malleable, because it's now pretty solid and not that bendable. So you can see it's starting to become a butterfly shape. Okay, so again, we've got it. It's starting to get there very slowly, so I've got a bit of a curve on the wing going that way, and I believe if you're doing this properly, I think you're supposed to start in the middle and work your way to the outside. I find it a bit awkward on a butterfly to do that because you've probably got to avoid the fold, so I sort of try to start there, and then work your way out to the wings, and you just got to keep working at it until you get it to where you want. You've also got the little antennas at the end, so they've got to be pulled out and rounded off, so you can do that with pliers or something like that and just get it out and bend it off. So I shall do that for a little bit more and then show you the next stage. Okay, so now I've got my butterfly shape sorted. The next thing to do is sort of give it a bit of a clean up. So some people sort of put it in a pickling solution. I don't bother. I have a rotary tool, Dremel, whatever you want to use, and lined up the camera, like a brass coppery brush. And if you're going to use these things, make sure you wear goggles. I've nearly had my eye impaled by one of those bristles many a times, so it's an absolute must. My brush is a little bit dirty, let's give it a clean one. So what do you think of me doing this? So I quite like this more beaten rustic look to these, but if you want to, you can really go to town and get it looking really good. I can find the camera, so it's probably not showing up well on my phone camera, but effectively I just clean it up, and the next thing is I usually like a little bit then to put some patterns on, so I'm going to do that next. So I quite like the effects on this one. It's like a ball on the end there. But you know, you can experiment, find one you like and go from there. So we'll put something on. So again, I'm not sure this is going to show up on camera. I've got goggles on so I can't even see what I'm looking at, but I've done one wing, so I'm going to do the other next. Okay, so I'll probably have to get the camera and take a proper picture of this so you can see it, because it's not that easy. Oh, I've got another light. I'm not sure this is going to help, but it might. It might not. I'm not sure that it's helping. Might have, we can get it to focus. Oh, here we go. So, yeah, I think I'll take a proper picture with the camera later. Okay, so that's the initial bit done. So there's a few things you can do now to change the way it looks, and I am tempted to leave this as it is and just lacquer it. I'm reasonably happy with it, which is what I normally do. But you can actually just glance over it with the blowtorch and get it to change colour slightly. I've not quite made my mind up yet what to do there. It's not looking too bad, I don't think. I'm going to leave it at that. But maybe another one I will show you. On the pictures I do, actually I've got a dolphin here. So the dolphin pictures, I'm not sure again if this is going to be visible, but it's all one piece of copper, but in some parts of it I've treated it with the heat just to change the colour of the copper. So that's something you can do, and whether you use the Dremel on it first or not will make a difference. But you can, yeah, alter the way it looks with a blowtorch. So, just to give you an idea, normally going on, I would obviously make 2 more butterflies. won't be these ones. So that would go there. And actually, if we turn this around, so there'll be a like that. Incidentally, I'll be using these ones I've already made earlier as earrings. There we go. That is roughly, let's get the camera out so you can have a look at that. It looks something like that with some copper loops to hold it all together. Okay, so I'm not going to bore you to death with showing you how to paint lacquer onto it with a spray can. It's too late now anyway. It's gone too cold out. The paint lacquer won't take that well. It'll probably go foggy because of the damp. So it's something I'm going to do another time. So I'm going to finish this video here. Hope you enjoyed it, and leave you a proper picture of this at the end. Okay.